Hello there! What's crack a lacking? Yes, it's in here because it's a surprise for me. I want to know what it is. Cause I is a lemon lime. It is. Put the oven mitt back over there now. It was a surprise to me. I wanted to be surprised. I couldn't think of anything to put it in there. So we're back at this. Welcome back to the Wrestling Corner, where we talk about all things wrestling. I'm Scotty. You're not, and we are talking about Survivor Series 2002. One of, if not the greatest Survivor Series, one of the greatest reviews of all time. And you're not changing my mind on that. I rented this on VHS many times from Cashwise to watch this. I'm surprised it still worked. This was one of the first wrestling pay-per-views I watched. I told you the first one that I bought was Royal Rumble 2004, but this was one of the first ones that I watched. I dare barely remember the King of the Ring 2002 at all when I went through, and that show was so much of a slog. By the way, when we get to the second match, I'm going to have to make a little addendum on King of the Ring 2002 because they mentioned it, but we'll get there. So, yeah, this show was much better, and it moved at a better pace until it didn't. We'll get to that because everything just sort of stopped before the main event. But yes, we are WWE Survivor Series 2002 from the Mecca of sports entertainment, professional wrestling, whatever, Madison Square Garden. Yes, WWE's home, New York City. And yeah, so many memorable things happen here. You know, especially in this night. It's just, when you talk about it, this is bumped. I will say that to this day they do this, and I never. So we have a random ass 6-man elimination tag team match. It's the only match that sticks out like a sore thumb because all the other matches are title matches, and this one is not. It wouldn't stick out so much if it wasn't a title match, and it just makes me think, why is this here? This could have been done. Not that it's not a good match. I'll say right now it is a great match, but this could have happened on Raw. We didn't need. This didn't really need to be here. You could have done a World Tag Team title match or something. You could have made it a triple threat tables match where you have the Dudleys Bubba and Spike, and the 3-minute warning, and then whoever the World Tag Team Champions. Well, actually, no, you couldn't because Chris Jericho is one half of the tag champs. I just remembered that. So you couldn't do that. Well, the Intercontinental title that's Rob Van Dam, isn't it? Never mind. Oh, the Intercontinental title was retired at this time, wasn't it? That's right, because Kane lost it. Unforgiven and the whole what's her name? Yeah. So we start off with a hold on. Sorry, I'm back. 6-man elimination. I didn't realize this one. I realized was elimination. It was the one later. So, despite the fact that I didn't think this was necessary, it does feel like they just threw it in because they needed an extra match. Now that I think about it, but because they didn't really have any titles. There was the Intercontinental title was retired. The European title was retired, but no hardcore title anymore. So, yeah, this is kind of just filler. But it's a good match. You know, you see that whenever they showed highlight reels of Jeff Hardy in WWE, there's that one shot of him on top of like an entranceway. He has a swanton to someone on a table. That's from this match. Yeah. I will point out that out of the people who are eliminated, everyone's eliminated by one person. in a way, except for the last one. But like, it takes two people to put Spike Dudley through a table because it's elimination tables match. Yeah, both Rosie and Jamal put him through a table, but then the other, like, he puts Jeff Hardy through a table on the outside. Jamal does, and then because it's like he goes. It's really weird, Jeff Hardy's elimination, because Jamal puts him on the table. He goes in and he kicks Bubba Ray Dudley. So you think, oh, this is going to give Jeff time to move out of the way, and no, he still just gets hit. It's really weird. I'm like, you think that would? I don't know. I don't understand. I don't know. So, yeah, and then it's basically because Rosie gets eliminated down to 2. Bubba eliminates Jamal, so it's down to Bubba and Rico. But because it's no disqualification, 3-minute warning doesn't leave, so they just start attacking Bubba before he's saved by Devon Dudley, who at the time was Reverend Devon on SmackDown, but that wasn't working despite having a banger of a theme song. We're talking about bangers of a theme song later, but yeah, so Devon helps him hit the 3D on Rico for them to get a win. So yeah, and they celebrate, and this would be Devon coming back to Monday Night Raw and rejoining the Dudleys, and yeah, because it didn't work. Somehow splitting the Hardys worked, which we do see them kind of come across each other in the back later. But yeah. And then we cut to WWF The World, or WWE the World and WWE about in New York. It's formerly WWF New York, but now it's The World for some reason. And Stacey Keebler's there to introduce. She talks about testicles, which were Test's fans. Test is not there. But she introduces Saliva to perform the theme song, Always. This is another banger. I love you, I need you, I can't live without you. I love that song. One of the best pay-per-view theme songs of all time. Next, I have to make an addendum. So we have the Cruiserweight Championship matches, Jamie Noble defending against Billy Kidman. And when Jamie Noble comes out, Michael Cole says, Noble won that title at the King of the Ring. I'm like, no, the fuck he didn't. Hurricane won that match. I went back and listened to my review. I'm like, I clearly said Hurricane won that match. So then I looked at the results and I was wrong. Yeah, I was wrong. I just remember the big choke slam, but apparently Nydia cheated to help Noble win the title. So this has been since then to now. Jamie Noble comes out, they talk about that, and then you can run if you want to, but you can't hide. Kidman comes out. Apparently this is the first time he used the banger of a theme song. Now, you can complain about how it doesn't fit Kidman, sure, but you cannot tell me it's not a banger, all right? I'm just saying. So, I lost track. So, yes, this is a pretty decent cruiserweight match. I didn't put the timestamps because this actually went pretty fast, these matches. So, yeah. But I will notice that Taz at one point says, Noble has something up his sleeves, but he's not wearing a shirt, so he has no sleeves. I'm like, Taz on commentary was gold. Michael Cole and Taz are one of the best to do it. I put them up there with Heenan and Monsoon. Of course, JR and the King, but Michael and Taz are up there as well. You gotta also put Mike Tenay and Don West up in there for TNA, and of course, Tony Schiavone and Bobby Heenan and Mike Tenay, or even put Larry Zbyszko in there somewhere for that, but yeah. And I was like, I remembered, because like I said in my review for King of the Ring, I remember Kidman having the title. Apparently it was at the end of the match, because at one point, Nydia tries to interfere. Okay, first of all, I got an issue with this. Nydia smacks Kidman right in front of the goddamn referee, and the referee's like, get out, come on, get it. I'm like, no. That's a disqualification, dude. Like, what? She slaps Kidman right in the face in front of the referee, and he doesn't call for a disqualification. What? I don't understand that. I understand that they had a plan of what they were doing, but they don't have her do that, because then it makes the people at home go, wait, why wasn't she disqualified? What? Huh? Because it's just right in front of the referee, and he does nothing but tell her to get down and get. I'm like, what? No, it's not a get back in it. No, that's a disqualification in me. Because Kidman was winning the title, they could do that. It's iffy. I don't know if they did something with that later. I don't know. But, and actually, this one, they were going between Raw and SmackDown commentators. So, yeah. Kidman hits a shooting star press to win and become the new Cruiserweight title. His last run with the Cruiserweight title, and then he didn't do much of anything. He did win the tag titles with Paul London once, but he sort of just is there. I think this is around the time I started watching in 2002, because I remember Kidman being Cruiserweight champion when I started, so yeah. It wasn't right away in September. It's when I got to know my friend. This was around this time, I think. But, yeah. We then have a few things in between. We have Kurt Angle and Chris Benoit in the back. See, they were the tag team champions. They won a tournament to become the inaugural tag team champions. They lost the titles on SmackDown, I think it was, to Edge and Rey Mysterio. So now they're in a triple threat elimination tag match. They didn't realize it was elimination at first till the first elimination happened. I'm like, what? Huh? Oh, it's elimination. Okay. We'll talk about that match when we get there. They're talking about how they're going to get the titles back. They don't like each other, but they're going to work together. And they agree to work together. And Kurt goes, or Angle, Benoit goes to shake his hand, and Kurt goes, tag team partners don't shake hands. You're like, I'm not going to shake your hand. Tag team partners don't shake hands. Tag team partners got a hug. Like he's Chris Farley or some shit. And they hug, and it's all weird. And then we get a camera. I guess there's something Bischoff was doing at the time. A camera is watching Victoria as she's talking into her mirror and asking who's the fairest of them all. And next to a Trish Stratus cardboard standee. And she gets all pissed because apparently the mirror told her that Trish Stratus was the fairest in the land. So she gets mad and then it attacks the standee. Now this is a proto Victoria. This was before that. Other things you say, other things you said, other things you said, in my head. That thing. She comes out to a generic theme, which I tried to find if this was just a network dub of that. But I don't know. It's just it doesn't even have the same Tron where the eye comes across and she's all. So it might just be what she had at the time. But then she starts to become a little crazy in 2002. Yeah, she comes out. And apparently this was like a hardcore rules match before it was Extreme Rules, like hardcore rules. And the finish is so weird. So what happens is that they fight pretty good, you know. At one point, it starts at a regular match, and they start getting stuff. I'm like, okay, this must be hardcore. And then it's going fine. It's not that long, because apparently Vince McMahon didn't think women's matches deserved time. As some say that Triple H also believes in that. But, so, at one point, Victoria takes out the fire extinguisher. It doesn't work at first, then it does, and sprays Trish in the face. Then Victoria hits a snap suplex to win the match, and I went, what? That's like the Blue Thunder Bomb in ways that you could win a match. Like, why would you even... What? Okay, and she won. Not only does she win the match, she wins the women's title off of a snap suplex. Yes, she had some help from the freaking fire extinguisher, but come on. No. Next is the WWE Championship matches, Brock Lesnar versus The Big Show. And if you're keeping track, so far, every title has changed hands. It's 2 so far. So we have Brock Lesnar versus The Big Show, and to build up with this, Brock Lesnar had legitimately taped bruised ribs that he was competing with. He had an injury legitimately. Big Show jumped shows from Raw to SmackDown and immediately became a challenger. Brock Lesnar was in a Hell in a Cell match with The Undertaker at No Mercy. Undertaker was off for a while and returned to the Royal Rumble, and so now he's facing Big Show. And in the weeks leading into this, I've listened to a couple of the Deadlock podcasts where they talk about a couple of episodes before this. It is very obvious that Heyman is turning on Brock. Even here, he was talking to Brock. He's like, I will do whatever I can to make sure my client, doesn't say you or Brock Lesnar, my client walks away WWE champion. He didn't say Brock by name. He says my client. So the match starts, and it's a quick match. It's Brock, but it's a quick match. They go back to back. At one point, the referee gets knocked down, because of course he does. Heyman throws in a chair. Brock Lesnar hits F5, hits Big Show with the chair, hits the F5 on the chair. And this is where I always think it's sketchy, because another referee comes running down to count the pin. Before I get into what happens, you are a referee who apparently was standing in the back. I always have to question this, because this is a referee who's standing in the back watching standing in the back watching the match. He has obviously he's seen that the other referee is knocked out and that a pin is going to happen. So he's watched everything up to this point. So he knows that a chair was involved and should again disqualify Brock Lesnar for using the chair. But instead, he goes to count the pin, and when he gets to 3, Paul Heyman pulls him out and knocks him back down. And then Paul Heyman, I love how when he does this, his hat flies off. So it's like, but it's still hanging on because it's on his ponytail that he had at the time. So it's like, so he's like, Heyman's like, and then Lesnar goes after him. Big Show hits him with the chair, hits a choke slam on the chair. 1, 2, 3, Big Show's new WWE champion. And I love how immediately afterwards they run out into the parking lot, get in the car, and drive away because they're still so scared of Brock Lesnar. And I remember thinking back in the day, see, the old Lesnar's going to get revenge. Not really, because it's Kurt Angle who beats him for the title, and he goes into WrestleMania as champion. And Brock does get his revenge, but it's at the Royal Rumble. And it's not for the title. So they obviously were accommodating Lesnar's injuries. And they just needed to take it off of him. And Big Show was the most obvious choice, and he doesn't hold it for long. But this is another memorable moment from this show. Jeff Hardy jumping off the entryway. This one, and then, of course, the Elimination Chamber. But now we have a triple threat, or a 3-way dance, because there's elimination, for the WWE Tag Team Championships. The current Tag Team Champions, Edge and Rey Mysterio, defend the tag titles against Chris Benoit and Kurt Angle, and Los Guerreros, who are not only are they not coming out to Viva la Raza, but they're coming out to the Latino Heat song, and they're not called Los Guerreros yet. They're referred to as the Guerreros, which I know is the same thing, but they on commentary. But on their entrance thing, it just says Eddie Guerrero and Chavo Guerrero, and the announcer goes Eddie and Chavo Guerrero. So they don't. I don't know. And this is a pretty good match. Of course, Kurt Angle and Benoit are thrown against each other. At one point, a chair is brought in. And he used against them, he confused. Someone hits Angle with a chair, or Benoit with a chair, and then Chavo gives it to Kurt. So when Benoit turns around, he thinks that Kurt hit him with it. And so I have to point out my issues. I understand why they do it, but I don't like it. It's a triple threat tag team match. Therefore, 3 competitors should be in the ring for this match. Instead, we have 2 competitors, and you can tag another competitor to come in. I hate that. I understand why they do it. They do it because it's easier to plan out what to do in the match. But it still doesn't make any sense to someone who's at home watching this and going, why isn't it just 3 people in the ring? What? I don't know. There's like standing out there and waiting. At one point, one of the girls tagged himself in off Kurt Angle, and it's like, or tags Kurt into the match, and Kurt Angle and Benoit are eliminated first, and then going to argue and fight all the way to the back. And the Guerreros actually win the tag titles, which I remember. I'm like, I think because I'm going through this, and I'm like, well, I know who wins the main event, and every title has changed hands so far. The Guerreros, I think every title changes hands on this show. So yeah, the Los Guerreros win, and they are the new WWE Tag Team Champions. So yeah. And this is where I was like, oh, they said during this match, they say, up next is the Elimination Chamber match. I'm like, wow, this is going pretty fast. And then roadblock. Because we go, I'm not sure which order it's in, but we have a segment here where Chris Nowinski comes out, the first ever Harvard graduate in WWE history. He doesn't last long. He gets post-concussion surgery. He had some talent, but he gets post-concussion syndrome and can not wrestle anymore. At one point, 2003, he's wrestling with a face mask on, and then he just disappears because he can't wrestle anymore. But I think he became a teacher or something like that. I don't know. Makes sense. But he's out there to talk about how the people in New York are lazy and stupid or something. And Matt Hardy comes out. These are not stupid people. They're lazy people or something like that. He's just run down too. And then they come up with their lupid, which is not a word. But Scott Steiner shows up in his big debut, and he takes them down. And then in the back, I think the general managers are arguing about who's going to sign him, But then we're interrupted by the RNN, the Randy News Network, with Randy Orton, who, I don't know about what this gimmick was, but he's got a sling on his arm, and he said, for some reason, he flew to New York, and he had to take the stewardess on there for taking good care of him, and I'm just like, but you're in New York, and you're doing this, why are you here? It doesn't make any sense why they flew him out just to do this promo. I don't know, but yeah, now we got the Elimination Chamber. No, I'm back. Eric Bischoff comes out, take credit for something that wasn't completely his, but he's out there. So apparently, according to legend, Triple H wanted the War Games match to be at Survivor Series, and Mr. Man said no. So they came up with this concept, which I always thought was very similar, because even I said this was WWE's version of War Games, only it's not teams; it's every man for himself. Because you got 2 starting out like a War Games match, and the rest are inside the pots. And even in the older games, you could do 6-man tag matches in the Elimination Chamber. So you have one from each team, and then another from each team come out. So that was what I would do to placate myself when we didn't have the War Games match in the game. That was my War Games. You only do 6 people, but And then yeah. So, but we got this, which is still a good match. And so you have the competitors. I don't remember who comes out first. Kane. No. You have Shawn Michaels with short haircut and doo-doo brown pants. Yeah, he's not the I don't know. And you have Kane coming out with the pyro. I love how back in the day when Kane's pyro will go off, Kane's pyro would go off. The commentaries would sell it because it goes off and you hear Jerry Lawler go, ah! His little yell that he does. Like, they would sell it because it's just pyro, but you know. Chris Jericho, who comes out to the Saliva song King of My World, which was on the Anthology CD set. King of my World, Booker T. And then the last two are RVD and Triple H. And they start off the match. Number 1 and 2. So they're going at it for a while. And then Booker T comes in. Or no, Chris Jericho comes in. Then it's the three of them. At one point during this section, I think it is, RVD goes for a frog splash and lands on Triple H's throat, which bruises his trachea, which means they had to sort of change things a little bit to counter, because he had an injury. Then Booker T comes out. RVD is eliminated first. I don't know if it's before or after Kane comes out. Kane comes out at number 5, but apparently he was supposed to come out at number 6. He came out at number 5, which means they had to once again change things after the trachea thing. Booker T is the second one eliminated, and Shawn Michaels comes out number 6, with Kane being the third one eliminated, and then it's down just to 3. Triple H, Jericho, and HBK, and this is where the match kind of slows down a little bit. You know, you get more of some stuff going on between the three of them. You know, by the way, Triple H gets busted open almost right away in this match. Yeah. Jericho is eliminated. It's down to HBK and Triple H, because of course it is. And despite the fact that apparently it wasn't supposed to be in the cards, Shawn Michaels wins the match. There was a point when Triple H hits a pedigree, but it's a really weird pedigree. It picks him up, and when he goes to land, he kind of spins him, and he goes to pin him, and Shawn Michaels kicks out, and then you get the sweet chin music, the pin. And Shawn Michaels is the World Heavyweight Champion, and you get that shot of him holding up the world title, and it's just, you know. But the doo-doo brown pants, and by the way, a lot of people were a little bit upset. I don't know upset, but they complained. In WWE 2K15, in the showcase mode, you play this match, but they didn't give Shawn Michaels the doo-doo brown pants. They messed up every other attire in that thing for everyone in all those showcases. But for some reason, they decided to give Shawn Michaels just regular HBK pants instead of those doo-doo brown ones. I don't know why. But people were like, hey, that's not what he wore. His hair was also longer than it should have been. So I don't know. But yeah, this was really good. Like I said, even with that whole, there's like a section of, I don't know, at least 15 or 20 minutes between the the WWE tag match and Elimination Chamber, where you had the Kristoffersky stuff and the RNN and Eric Bischoff coming out, and even the promo stuff, talking about the creation of the Elimination Chamber and all that, where you have them singing the song again, the Saliva plays again, I love you, I need you. Yeah, just, you know, it's very good. Much better than the King of the Ring one. So, what are your thoughts on Survivor Series 2002? Let me comment below, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I'm Scott, and I'll see you in the next one.